Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. We are back again for another shout out. It's so exciting. We're going into the holiday period. The only thing, and quite frankly, it's a sign of the time. Okay, the wall is back. It's the way it is. We're dealing with a pandemic that we just have to, do what we're supposed to do, wear our masks, make sure that we have our proper separation, and maybe we can get control of this. But in the meantime, let's talk about happy stuff. Let's talk about fun stuff. Let's talk about power. Okay. And when it comes to power, there's no better power than the solar power. When it comes to solar power, you just have to talk about Florida Solar Partners. Today, I have Frank Rosa with me, Mr. Frank Rosa. And Frank, first of all, welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is a great honor and a pleasure, and I can't wait to continue and share about the benefits of going solar.
I'm excited about this. I have a very old solar background from 20 some odd years ago, actually a little bit more than that now. And we'll come to that. But tell us about you. Okay. How did you end up in our community?
Well, actually, I've been here since I'm from Puerto Rico originally. I was born and raised, and I've been here since 1984. So I consider South Florida my true home. I've been in sales and marketing pretty much my entire career, and it's been a great ride. And at this point, a couple years ago, an old colleague of mine who was in Nevada and Las Vegas introduced me to solar. He said, "You know what? You definitely should look at solar. Florida has not been able to catch up. I mean, out here in Nevada, we're approximately close to 40% solar." And I thought, okay, we're 40%. Where's Florida at? And when we sat down and we looked at the numbers, he's like, right now, Florida is about approximately 3% solar, and more than half of that is the utility companies. So think about that, guys. That means about 1% of the residential properties in the entire state of Florida, 1% is solar. That's sad. We're the Sunshine State. Come on, guys. Really, I mean that put a smile on my face because I say, okay, well, if we could put something together, let's make a difference. Let's make that Sunshine State really, really bright. And there's 8.7 and adding 8.7 customers for the utility companies here in the entire state of Florida. That's a big number, and that number continues to grow. Because met with a broker, a realtor, a few weeks ago, and he was talking about statistics for 2020. Approximately more than 500,000 people moved to Florida. Once they found out that they can actually work remotely, where would you want to go? I want to go have a desk where I can look out the window and look at some palm trees, maybe see some waves, some manatees. Come on. So that number continues to grow. So imagine the demand for energy. We have to all do our part. Our goal is incredible. If we can do at least everyone put it out there. Solar is the future. And you know what Sonny says? The future is now.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Sunny. We have to come back to Sunny. But, it's interesting. You mentioned the statistic of the number of people who are moving to Florida. And, we have so much to offer here. And I'll be honest, I waver back and forth. I want to provide for our community the services, the quality of life. And sometimes we get a lot of people that move here because we just have it all.
Yeah.
Okay. The reality of it is. And when you get to the sunshine and creating that natural power, it allows us to move away from fossil fuels.
Correct.
And other things that actually put emissions into the air. But you mentioned Sunny. Tell me about Sunny.
Well, I wanted to come up with something different for us. What can we do to really get the message out there? How can we get to everyone? And my youngest daughter, she loves to draw. She's an artist. And I one day said, listen, we have a solar company. I want to be a little bit different. Can you draw something for me? 5 minutes later, she comes back with a doodled page and a pencil. And some of them were scratched off, and all of a sudden, right in the middle, and the pencil drawing, there was Sunny and he in the cloud right next to Sunny. I said, that's it right there. And little by little, I tell her, why don't you go ahead and give me a good drawing? Digitally, she came up with Sunny. Not only Sunny, but then she came back with the other characters called Eartha.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fody, which represents a photovoltaic collector. But his name is Fody. This makes it fun. So the idea now is we want to use these characters to educate the youth. You know, they are our future. That's who we're really working for. That's the best inheritance I can leave my legacy to my kids. I did my part. I did my part to protect the planet. I did my part to protect Eartha from the emissions and the gases that are making her sick. And that's important, you guys. It's important because even if I leave them $1 million, but the Earth is freaking falling apart, what's it worth? To me, it's everything. So we're doing a whole series with Sonny. We started with the first little video that I hope you guys can watch and enjoy. The kids, you put that video in front of a couple of kids and see what happens.
The website there, or the YouTube is scrolling across in the bottom. So once that gets out there, if you want to capture that, that's a great idea.
Absolutely.
Please, I'm sorry, I wanted to make sure that was
no, absolutely no, Mr. Burke. This is great, but using that as an educational program for kids, let them understand it from yay tall, the benefits of going solar. They are going to grow a couple of years down the line, and they're going to say, "Hey, mom, dad, why don't we have Sunny? Why don't we have the panels on our roof, creating energy and providing the energy that we all need? Some systems you can make them a little larger, so you're actually creating more energy than you need. Then you provide that back to the grid." But if the kids are the ones understanding it and bringing it home, who's going to say no to your kid?
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And what you're doing is you're creating the next generation of stewards.
Absolutely.
And by getting your kids involved and understanding what it takes to protect this planet,
correct?
Okay, because quite frankly, it's the only one we have.
That's it.
Okay, then they start looking. They have that understanding. And the other thing that you hit on that's a absolute home run out of the park, I'm a big Marlins fan, is these kids will carry that message to their peers, to their siblings, to their parents.
Their parents, absolutely.
So it's exciting to hear. And I leaped right in on Sonny, because when I went back and looked at YouTube and said, well, this is it. Okay. Yeah. This is how, with this particular issue, how we carry the message on, to the next generation, and let them pick it up and run with it.
Absolutely. We partnered up with Kiddos Magazine, and we're doing a lot of events with them. We just did the holiday event, and what we did is actually, in conjunction with Veronica from Kiddos Magazine, we're sponsoring now the Reading Corner. So now that Reading Corner is called Sonny's Reading Corner, where authors of children's books come in and promote their books, and they get to read to the children. So Sonny now is sponsoring that. So we get to go introduce all the new authors. We talk to them. We talk about their books. And then, again, they bring all the kids. It's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, all the kids come and gather around. They're going to listen to the author. And we're partnered up. Sonny's Reading Corner will be with Kiddos Magazine.
Nice.
And the article was written about us on the Kiddos Magazine because of what we're doing.
And we haven't even started talking about solar power. You really got me going on the thing that is most important to me, and that is the next generation, and creating that group of people who care and understand that the responsibility will be theirs.
Correct.
Okay. And if we, as the current adults, understand that, then it will also cause us to do certain things, to move that thing forward. So very, very excited. Again, if you watch my shows and you see what I talk about, it's community. Okay. Right. This community, what we're doing in South Dade. All right. And the people that we bring here, the people that join our, see if I can get that so the light is just right. Okay. You're going to get this, by the way. This is for you. I brought
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. The South Dade Chamber of Commerce is all about community. We still have that small town feel, because we believe in our neighbors. We believe in the businesses that are here. We believe in our elected officials because they understand, they listen to us. We manage to have those small meetings that we're able to talk to our elected officials and let them know these are the things that are important to us. And what that does is gives them this sense of community. And everything that I've heard you say so far, usually the community talk is at the end of the presentation, but you just put it right out there. I do appreciate that.
No, listen, I think the entire conversation should be about community, because you know what? That's the reason why we came up with the name Florida Solar Partners. I want everyone to consider yourself a Florida solar partner after today's conversation, because the question is really, what can I do? What can I do to help? What can I do to get it to the next level? You don't need to know all the science. The science has already been figured out. right?
Mhm.
The systems work. They work great. If it works for NASA, it works for you. So what we want to do is get the word out. Get the word out. I consider everybody who says, "Hey, I want to know more about solar," you just became a partner. You just became part of this company's future because you're going to help get the word out there. You're going to be the one to say, "Hey, you know what? I do want to do this for my family. I do want to do this for the kids. I do want to do this for the future." Aside from all of the other amazing benefits that comes with it, from the savings to owning your own system and have no electric bill, that's powerful.
Right.
It's powerful.
And so, talking again, we're talking about power. But I have an interesting story that's related to this. Many, many years ago, in another lifetime, I was posted in Iraq. I was there for almost a year, and while I was there, being the progressive type of person that I like to think I am, I wondered why they weren't using photovoltaic cells, solar power in Iraq. We have all the sun. You're in the middle of the desert.
Correct.
And so myself and one of my buddies that were there decided that we were going to bring solar power to the region. We did a research, some study, and we found out that there was a United Nations study that was done in 1990 that said that the photovoltaic cells would not be able to survive in that region. When we figured out that the new technology was easy and could actually do it, that we set out on the path. So what ended up happening, though, is a couple of the big farmers heard about what we were doing. They sat down, they talked to us. We showed them how we could help them, and they came up with a way to stop buying electricity from the government. As soon as that was said, the government cut us off. Okay, so tell me, how does the Florida, the legislature, the governor, what in the U.S. keeps that from happening? Why should this grow without, or how can this grow without government restrictions?
Right now, the ITC credit, which is the federal credit for solar, is at 26%. So you can actually take advantage of it. The government is actually doing a lot. What I've seen is that in reality is the lack of knowledge from the homeowners, or I guess a certain lack of interest. I guess they've been so brainwashed, if you want to call it that, to stick to the utility company because there's nothing else. There's no other choice. You have FPL. Do you have any other options? I find it that they're a little bit more slowing us down.
But FPL is the biggest creator or users of solar power in the state.
Right. But what happens is they're really not going to pass on the savings on to the homeowners, even though the fields that they have, they're done up north. It's like thousands already of acres.
Yeah.
It's not generating enough to cover all of Florida. I think the 74.5 megawatt system that they have up there is only generating enough energy for 8,700 homes. So how many panels?
I actually know where that field is. I lived up in the Panhandle for 10 years, and where that field is now, we used to go dirt bike riding.
Oh wow!
And so I went up there last year, and I was like, wow. All of our hills and everything are leveled, and there's this huge solar farm.
So we haven't even scratched the surface. Even if they go all out, we need it on our roofs. We need to put it out there. They don't have enough real estate. So if they're going to cover all our nature with solar panels, they still not going to be able to give us all the energy that we need.
But FPL has been such a good partner. FPL has been that big company that comes into the small community and acts like a small company. So do they offer net metering or
They do offer net metering. And actually FPL allows you to even put a system in your home that goes as high as 120%.
Okay, so can you explain that?
So let's say your regular bill is $250. That's 100% of your consumption. They allow you to put more panels on your roof that go above that. So you're actually positive providing energy to FPL. So they go ahead and resell it. They are making money off of that as well. So it's a win-win situation. You go with the system, you're providing energy as well. It's a plus.
Okay.
And again, the I don't see any negatives at all. I mean, aside from the question on the aesthetics, is it pretty? Is it not? Some of the panels right now are seamless, so it's completely dark black, completely. It looks really slick and cool.
Mm-hmm.
So and imagine getting to the point where you don't have an electric bill. That's like the one thing that you're glued to. You have no other choice, like your mortgage payment. You know.
So we're going to come back to that in a second. I'm trying to decide now. So are we going to talk about the aesthetics or solar power? But let's talk about solar power. Then we're going to come back to the
Okay,
aesthetics.
let's do it.
So how does this work? Tell me what makes this. I don't want to say important, but what makes this actually work?
Well, the photovoltaic panels are collecting direct current, right? So we use alternating current in our home. So there's an inverter connected to each one of those panels. So the energy is being collected all day long. So you're providing energy to the grid, right? You will always be connected to the grid. That's one thing. So, so you're providing that energy, and at night you're pulling that energy. But in most cases, like I said, we size the system the right way, you're providing more energy than you're using. So at the end of the year, when FPL does their checks and balances, if you're creating positive, then they give you a credit. They'll never give you cash, but they'll give you a credit. So what ends up happening is with those credits, you can use that to pay for your grid connection fee.
So what if it's cloudy? I mean, so are we powering our house directly from these panels?
That is correct.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what if it's cloudy outside?
You're still collecting energy, so the AV rays,
Okay.
the UV rays, actually. Places like Maine, for example, I went to visit some friends over the summer, and Maine has huge, and it's green fields, and in the middle of nowhere, you see a big solar farm. Those people get blizzards, and they're still collecting energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not only just cloudy, it's snow falling, and they're still collecting energy. You will always be collecting energy, not as efficient, but you're still collecting.
Okay. So suppose that we have a storm come through, because that's what happens here in South Dade.
Right.
And so we lose power, and then again, it's really cloudy and overcast for 2 or 3 days.
You're still collecting. If you to do it the perfect way, the way I look at it, you always want to get a system with a battery backup. So once you have the battery backup, if the lights go out, you won't even feel it, because the battery automatically kicks in. So that way you're protecting yourself. I always look at it as protection. Another thing is, think about it this way. You have a brand new roof, or let's say your roof is not completely, let's say 10 years old. You put a solar system on top of that. It's well put together, because it's connected right to your roof. It becomes like a shield from a storm. The panels are designed to withstand up to 175-mile-an-hour winds. That's a Category 5. At a Category 5, I wouldn't worry about the panels. I would pack up my bags and move and go somewhere else. You don't want to stay home. I read a recent article about Hurricane Maria that devastated Puerto Rico, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a property that had solar panels. It withstood 180-mile-an-hour winds, and it was still standing after the storm.
Yeah.
So I look at it as an additional shield protection. And you provide yourself the energy that you need in the case of an emergency. I have a client, 76 years old. She lives by herself. She's got 2 small dogs. And I look at it as like, okay, this is like my own mom. If she's at home alone, a storm happens and the lights are out, she could be a danger. Not now. Now, when the battery kicks in, then she still has light. She won't even feel it. She has AC in her refrigerator and everything's good. Medications that she has to take are in the refrigerator.
Right.
And
interestingly, that was kind of the question I was getting to, but I couldn't formulate it myself. So at nighttime, you're not generating power.
You're not.
Right. So if you lose power at night, then you need to have some kind of storage.
Yeah.
Okay.
The storage, the battery backup will take care of you.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about the aesthetics, because I have a brand new roof. When I say brand new, it is 1 year old. Okay. It's multicolored. Tile. I don't know why that word went away.
Yeah.
Okay. That if I even thought of covering that tile, okay, I would be beat about the head and shoulders.
Correct.
Okay. I live in a corner
property. We don't want you beat up.
Yeah. I live in a corner property, so you can literally see my roof 360 degrees of it.
Right.
I can't cover anything. Okay. But I know the value of solar. Okay. What can I do?
Well, believe it or not, solar has evolved a lot. We have one of our partners does their philosophy is a group of architects. So if you can think it, we can make it. They do pergolas. They do awnings, they do carports, they do so all those things could be, maybe not on the roof. Maybe we can create a nice little carport that the roof of that is all solar, generating some energy. It's not as efficient as the systems on the roof, but you're doing energy. And we have a beautiful picture of a self-sustained barbecue area with a kitchen, outdoor kitchen, fully solar. And so the refrigerator in there, the grill, the everything that you have, the lights, it's all being and it looks beautiful.
That's actually what I was thinking about doing. We were going to put a tiki hut out back, and the thought process came to me, well, what if we took this surface area and put the solar panels there?
Right.
Okay. But then again, you said not as efficient. So my thought is, all right, I don't want to do it just for this area. I want to provide power to the house. And that's why I started thinking about storage. So can that kind of surface area charge the storage batteries?
It could definitely charge a battery. Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing too, we have someone that out in the Redlands that his roof is not big enough for what he needs, but he has the space. You can do a ground mount, choose a section where you're gardening or whatever. You take that and put some panels, and it's collecting energy from there. So it doesn't always have to be on the roof.
Yeah,
you have choices. We've seen it on the side of buildings. We're actually meeting with Coral Gables. We already met with them, and they have some projects we're going to start trying to bid on. But you can do the top of the parking lots or the side of the building. It doesn't have to be on the
roof.
Top of the roof.
Yeah. And see, I have a slab that we poured in my backyard for a different reason that things kind of changed. And so I've pretty much have my wife talked into putting a battery system there. So I don't have a clue. So obviously we're going to be talking about Tesla and all the other guys who are making those batteries.
Right.
And my thought process again is if the battery capacity is enough to run my refrigerator, my air conditioner, I'm not really worried about television, because if my television is out, I mean, if the cable is out, what I'm trying to say, then
nothing's going to happen.
We're just going to watch movies that we have in DVDs anyway.
Right.
But the thought process is it for me, and tell me if I'm totally off base, is measuring what you want to have run for X amount of time, and then that capacity is what your unit has to either generate or your storage system has to be able to retain.
We work with Enphase IQ. They're here in the US, and they're actually the best battery backups. You literally can say, all right, I want to power this, and this. And then from there, you can look at the size that you're going to need. It's literally like a menu, I want to power if you want to power the entire house, you can, use a combination of different size batteries, but if you want just specific areas, you can just get a size that fits your needs, which is great. It's great. You don't have to do the entire house if you don't want to, because the batteries are a little bit expensive. And I'll be honest with you, but they do the job. Right. And they're great. In the case of a storm, even if you're out for 5 days, you will be the only one in the neighborhood that won't feel it.
Right.
I mean, if you want to make a little extra cash, then you get an ice maker in your garage and start selling ice. Put some bags of ice. There you go, Frank.
That's how you think. That's how you figure it out. Okay, I'm going to pay for this system one way or another.
I'm selling bags of ice out of my garage.
Excellent. Well, I know there's barriers here. I want to reach around and give you this. Okay, in the back there is this is a window sticker for your door.
Okay, perfect.
And every year, you're coming in this year. Every year you'll get a new one.
Perfect.
We were going to do wood plaques and metal things, but then we thought, okay, that's trees that are being cut down.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is plastic, but we're not going to throw that away. We're just going to reuse it.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so more of a sustainable type product, which is quite frankly what this is about, having a sustainable way to exist here in South Dade County.
Absolutely.
So I really, really thank you for being here. So insightful.
Thank you for having me.
And honestly, we're going to sit down and figure this out. So when I make my presentation,
I'll be with you. I'll bring it. We'll do a PowerPoint, and you get all the pictures. This is what it's going to look like. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
and you can have me over for barbecue once we set that tiki hut up.
Excellent. They do have a brochure that's out. Junior, can you hit me on that real quick? We'll make sure if you go to our website, but everything you need to know is in here. Okay, and I recommend. Obviously, you should start with 1 and go up through 4. Even though this looks like it's backwards right now, but
exactly.
anyway, all the questions, and then the reality of it is, if you have more questions, go online, look up Florida Solar Partners, start reading there. They'll give you a way to reach out to them, make contact. Frank, you'll hear from Frank, you'll hear from Seth, and again, it's a member in our community that's going to act like our neighbor, our member in our community, and that's really what it's about. We've had so many.
And if you have a Tesla, you have to go solar. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna have to talk about that too.
Yeah, you have to go solar. You're still using fossil fuels to charge your car.
Yep. Yep. Oh yeah. Isn't that bad?
Right? It's backwards. I call that the Tesla factor. You're doing it backwards. You got to go solar first and then get the Tesla.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, and a lot of folks, Tesla is growing automobile wise,
Yeah.
So some of the research I'm doing. Folks, we are going into the Christmas holiday. We're then right behind New Year. We are not going to be here next week. We will play. We're going to go back through and look at our shows that have the highest number of views, and we're going to replay those next week and then the following week also. We will be back the second week in January. We want to try to make sure that our staff is able to have a happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The folks here are just incredible. I can't say enough about community news and what they're doing for South Dade, what they do as far as helping the chamber. So everyone, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Happy New Year. We will see you next year. Remember, always be safe.